Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. Sunday morning, 11:30, I slept in because I did not have a good night rest last night. I had too much on my mind, as probably we all did. The fallout of the Ross Coulthart expose for exposure, disclosure, composure, whatever you want to call this nightmare, is continuing. And there are a lot of good points being made. I am not as skeptical as some of them. I would say my mood is now I'm more tempered. Again, I'm going to up my vigilance sector within my mind, which means my BS meter is on a stronger tuning. And there's a point that the laughing monkey, or this, I don't know what his name is, this kid, he makes a good point. And I'm going to share it with you as somewhat of the direction I lean. I have been reading your comments. I get it. I'm sorry I disappoint some people. That's the part of the game. It's inevitable. I did catch the parallel to the spiritual aspect of this, the feminine energy that this eyewitness said he witnessed and experienced, and how it ties in with Chris Bledsoe's ideas. And my concern when I first started this whole thing is I really don't think we're ready for disclosure, and that includes myself. And my proof is in the comments of so many videos out there who are saying it's just pure bunk. Well, that may be the most authentic part of this man's whole experience. Perhaps I was too drawn into the hype of the physical, right? Oh, we have fabulous video. The video sucked. That's a good note. I could say worse. I won't. That video did nothing to help. I get it. And it's not because it was night vision either. There are so many problems with it. But his experience, this spiritual dimension, this psychic dimension, is precisely the part that we're not ready to embrace yet. We, meaning me. I'm pointing to me. I'm saying we. I'm saying we because I've been looking at several videos this morning and reading the comments. And, you know, we love to put on a good face. We ourselves, the public, are trying to put on our best show, our best foot forward. Well, give us full disclosure. We can handle it. No, we can't. My skepticism meter is going higher the louder people scream for disclosure. I'm not so sure we know what we're asking for at all. And I'm basing this on the hundreds, if not thousands, of negative comments on what perhaps might have been the most important part of this eyewitness's experience. For real. But he brings up another point that I want to share that is deeply profound. Now, I'm not this far into my skepticism. I don't take this as far as this gentleman does, but this is underneath the surface. This is in the tension of everything that is going on. There's tenseness here. Let's just be real. Yeah, let's just be real. Reality isn't what it's made out to be, I'm afraid. So Let's see what happens. Yes, this gentleman, the sneezing monkey. I didn't want to say the spanking monkey. That might give wrong connotations. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But he does have a good point here. Sincerely, he does. Let's take a listen.
It is insane, what's left of the disclosure movement. Nobody cares anymore, and nobody lends any credibility to footage like this. As I said, I maybe have seen like a handful of comments where people are like, wow, really puzzling, or, they're not instantly discarding it. But the majority of people, they're just ridiculing it. It's a joke at this point. And it seems like the whole disclosure movement has no credibility left. Where can they go from here? But let's read some of the comments under one of these posts here.
I am not at all that skeptical. That's just giving up. I have not given up. I believe the ETs are real. I believe the UFOs are real. And, oh, there's my heater again. Sorry. Hold on. I'll be right back. I forgot to turn the heater down. I do that periodically in my old age dotage and my lack of intellectual capability. But no, I'm not that skeptical. We'll get through this. Not a fun pill to swallow, but we'll get through this. But his idea that he brings forward is a very important psychological moment for us content creators. If nothing else, I think his up and coming point here is critical, and I am going to pledge to you to try my golly gosh darndest not to do what he describes as the malaise of the UFO content creators right now. As I begin my own research into this, looking at the skies myself, making videos, I will not do what he describes is the disease that has overcome us, or at least infected us at this point. We can cure this, but it's going to take some effort. Let's take a look. This is important. And he has a little bit of fun here, and then he goes on to the main point.
This is, by the way, from the Disclosure Diaries. Let's see what people have to say. Clear, question mark. It's just a grainy green nothing burger. Seems like a piece of trash. I cannot get serious about that. Here we get this video, okay? And that's what I mean. Like, look, the floor here doesn't look that far different. It's clean like a rug or whatever this person is using. We need an up-close video, and I think that's what a lot of people were anticipating, but we didn't get it. Dumbest video I've ever seen. Potato. Is it just? Could be just a potato. It's time we stop giving Ross Coulthard a platform. I'm really starting to lose my patience. This does not help at all. Totally hopeless at this point. Is this what we were waiting for? Right? This is exactly the point. It is unbelievable. And it's like, I think that's the bigger story here.
What was it that gave us our overall just kind of a letdown, a flop, a seriously problematical response? Because I am in that camp at this point. Now, of course, I'm going to analyze it and reanalyze it and try to integrate my own psychological adjustments. But there's no question, I don't think, that we are all in an adjustment mode this morning, the day after the disaster is what I'll call it, because that was a disaster. Why? Let's pinpoint where this issue started, so that we can see where it's going, so that we can change the course of the discussion, of the disclosure, etc. I don't think disclosure is dead by any means. I think that is hyperbole. But what we're about to hear is not.
When it comes to the disclosure movement and these moments of like, yeah, a whistleblower's just around the corner. Oh, we're going to have a Congress hearing. That changes everything. Oh, this footage we're going to release it. You know what I mean? They're creating these hype waves every single time. And the art is really not about the content you actually release or the quality of the whistleblower's information or the story or the quantifiable evidence that you have to back any of it up. It's not about that at all anymore. It really is just about how big of a hype wave can I create? How big can my name trend on Twitter for a week in advance? How many subscriptions do I get for my podcast coming from that? How many copies of my book do I sell leading up to this event? Then the actual event happens, the whistleblower comes out, the congressional hearing happens, or the video, like in this case, comes out, and it goes nowhere. And they probably know it. I don't know, but presumably they know there's nothing there, right? It is really just about the hype wave and how big can you farm that leading up to this event. That's what it's about. Similar to boxing, right? This is something we see in more and more with boxing. It's like, oh, now Conor McGregor is fighting Mayweather. Huge hype wave. Everyone's losing their mind over it. The fight itself is boring. Mike Tyson is coming back. Jake Paul, the big, huge hype wave. We're selling merch and tickets and streaming and everyone's losing. The fight itself is nothing. It's a nothing burger, okay? So we're living in the day and age of these hype waves that have no outcome in the end. And I think that's just something we all have to realize, because if we don't ride the hype wave, if we already anticipate that this is going to be nothing, which at this point is more than reasonable in my opinion with the disclosure movement, then we're disarming these people. Then these people have nothing, because the substance of their releases, whether it's hearings, videos, whistleblowers, there is no substance there. They don't have anything on that end.
Now, at this point, we content creators need to sit up and pay attention, because I think he's spot on. Really. For real. Now, and my basis for this is you can feel the generation of the mood of the people who want this to happen in the comments of so many of these expose videos. And it's not pretty. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. Perhaps the psychology of the content creators is to, well, then we need bigger, more magnificent. We need to begin telling them earlier that something big is coming down the pipeline, etc. Right? It's a natural reaction, and it's the wrong one. If you don't have the evidence, then admit it. Don't give us stupid bullshit. This is my commitment to you. When I get to the skies, if the weather will let me, it's going to be 14 below zero tonight. Hell no, I'm not that interested in going and seeing an orb in the sky. Not happening tonight. Sorry, the BYP is admitting it. I'm a pansy. Right? Don't give me slop and tell me it's prime rib. I'll backhand you, to use an analogy. You claim you're serving me my favorite steak, then Bubba, you better put the 20 ounce on my plate in front of me, and it had better be a good prime rib. This is how it should work. If we have nothing, we admit it. If we have something, we show it. If it's not good enough quality-wise, then we find ways to build up the quality and show it again and again and again. Now, this is a tough order in some regards, and I'm well aware of that. I may not be able to fit the bill of satisfying people's curiosity, and I'm well aware of that, and I don't give a flying flip, and yet I give a flying flip. Interesting times we're living in. Very interesting options are available to us and other options have been closed off. Do us all a favor, all of us content creators. The Backyard Professor is calling on all content creators from all news agencies, from all YouTube channels. If you don't have anything valid, then shut up. Don't show it and try to turn it into a prime rib when it's a nothing burger. That would be my solemn, serious advice. I will be happy to lead the way. I know right now, I'm going to say it up front. I'll make a prediction right now about my own research in the skies. I'm going to be more disappointed than thrilled. I'm going to more often find nothing than something. Now, when I find the something, I will try like crazy to describe why I think it's something. Of course, yeah. But if I have nothing, then I'm going to tell you, nope, not tonight. Now, one of the values of interviewing other UFO researchers, I did the Tedesco brothers, a discussion with them. Now, they have vastly better and more equipment than I do or ever will, I suspect, unless I get a windfall somehow financially to upgrade all of my equipment like they have. That would be cool. But in the meantime, I work within my means. But the value of having them on the show and seeing how they're doing it is to recognize the limitations of our technology, but to also see the advantages of going with our technology. And instead of waiting for someone else to tell us, we do this ourselves. That way we'll know. The Tedescos know there are genuine anomalies out there. One of the cool things they've said that I am looking forward to exploring for my own knowledge, and of course I will share this in the video, is when they said they used infrared, they began to see more up there in the sky than they could with the naked eye. Now, that's intriguing to me. I like that because my little monocular does have infrared capability, and I will be utilizing it just for kicks and giggles. I will be doing some experiments with it. The downside of the infrared is it is short range. I'm not going to be able to use the infrared going out 11 miles if there's some kind of an odd thing going on 11 miles away. The magnification also is not going to be able to zoom in so that I have a saucer-looking craft that on my screen stretches across my screen. That's just not going to happen. It will be light. Now, I have ways, I will discover ways, I know of ways where I can alleviate that to some extent. But as far as a close-up video, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to produce it. I'm not going to claim I can because I don't know. I will always be straightforward in that regard. But believe me, I'm going to try. So, fun adventures. I am cautiously optimistic and hopeful still. I don't take the total negativity of this guy saying, oh, yeah, the disclosure movement, it's a complete failure. No, it is not. Not by a long shot. We have disappointments without question. Okay, we fumbled the football and the other team got the ball. Well, now it's time to put the defense on the field and let's keep going. Right? Hey, that's what you do in football. That's what we're going to do in our disclosure movement. That's how this works. Now, let's get one last idea. I think I've got one more idea I want to share from this gentleman. I like this guy. He's funny. He is sarcastic. He is somewhat a bit whimsical and negative. I don't take it quite that far, but I'm not going to lie to you. I want better. And that means I'm going to work so that maybe I can figure out How to produce better evidence. I don't know. I may fail too. If I do, I'll let you know. I'm not going to come on here and make a hype wave. That is a disease we need to cure, in my opinion. Nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody gives a flip. They're going to keep on hyping it, just so you know. You heard it here first on the Backyard Professor channel. We know the problem, and nobody's going to be willing to solve it. Not yet, anyway. I'm going to give it my best shot. Let's see what happens.
Every single time. So I think that is the actual interesting story here, that we're living in a day and age of infinite hype waves that sell books, that generate excitement, that get people subscribed to podcasts and so on, but that never ever lead to satisfying outcomes, okay?
And amazingly enough, I think he's right. Nothing I do is ever going to totally satisfy you guys. I mean, that should be obvious. I've never been able to totally satisfy everyone anyway, but neither has any other YouTube channel out there in the hundreds of millions of them that are out there. That's not the issue. It's not about satisfying everyone. Once you recognize that, it's about discovering for ourselves. So this leads to an interesting hypothesis I'm going to throw out there. This is the BYP hypothesis for the whole disclosure movement. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, hot dang, throw me a buck and say, way to go, dude. You had your finger on the pulse correctly. It is not. I repeat, it is not going to be the United States government, China, Russia, Ukraine, Brazil, South Africa, the UK, Canada. It is not going to be any of the governments that give us the disclosure. It will have to come from the aliens themselves. And I realize I am technically, and I'm doing this on purpose for the time being. I get it. It's politically incorrect. It's politically inaccurate to call them aliens. Yeah, well, tough shit. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not going to use NHI and all your other stupid bullshit euphemisms. The aliens are going to have to show up and give us disclosure, or it ain't happening. That's my hypothesis. That will be how it works. They get to decide when, where, and how, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. This is why the disclosure movement is not dead, neither can it die, because it's not up to us. It's up to them. That's my hypothesis. So thanks for watching my BYP Professor Responds, my BYP Responds videos. Tonight, Stephen Bassett, a phenomenal UFO scholar and researcher, on my live 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time in the United States. You don't want to miss this. I am very excited to have him on. If I find something else during the course of the day, I'm going to make another video. We'll see. I do have to get some rest. I'm still recovering from my operation. I'm doing great. Things are good. I'm healing and bruising just exactly like I'm supposed to, but I am in somewhat pain. So I am not as active, although I am totally active. The next 2 weeks, I'm going to try to share as much information and knowledge as I can, and potentially get some good sky-looking research going here. So I'm excited for the future. I look forward to continuing learning. I look forward to continuing going forward and being a part of this incredible movement with the tempering hypothesis that it's not going to be us that gets this job done. So quit fretting about it. Let's just move forward. Let's share some books. Let's share some videos. Let's share a laugh or two. Let's have a good time. It is a fantastic day to be alive. Let's hope more whistleblowers come out. Let's hope the YouTube community quits hyping so much and giving others a chance to make mocking videos, and let's try to get more realistic, even though it's not as grand as we want it to be. I get that. Some of this stuff is pretty mundane. You want magnificence, greatness? Then pick up meditation and call the ETs to yourself and get that. If you're looking for it on YouTube, you will always be disappointed. You haven't figured that out yet? I've only been doing this 3 months and I've got that figured out, right? So I will see you soon. Have a great day. I'll see you all tonight, if not before.